Andariki Namaskaramulu. Today is 18th August 2023, second day of our classes on Ramayana. We have completed 1.5 months of coursework. Now we are on Ramayana topic. It is 2 days and this is the second day. The topic would be Sitayanam. Yesterday we have seen the character of Rama. And so far we have covered almost all the topics without taking much time. Let us start with reciting Vande Mataram and then chanting Prarthana. After that we will hand over the mic to the speaker. Challa Chettibabu garu, please.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Suprajyosna pulakitayamini pullakusumita drumadala shobhini suhasini sumadhura bhashini sukhadam varadam mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. Let us request Surya Prakash Garu to chant Prarthana. All of you also please chant Prarthana. Mute your mics and chant Prarthana, please.
Sarvebhyah Namaskaraha. Let us observe 1 minute Dhyanam. Let us chant Omkaram 3 times. Ganana Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupavasravasamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Anasvunmannuti Bisida Sadanam Om Sri Mahaganadipataye Namaha Om Matrudevo Bhava Om Pitrudevo Bhava Om Acharya Devo Bhava Om Atidhi Devo Bhava Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Birvajinivati Deenam Avitriyavatu Om Sri Maha Saraswatyai Namaha Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave Naguro Paramam Sisurasmi Guroho Mama Matirasti Guru Mama Pahi Guru జ్ఞానానందమయం దేవం నిర్మలస్ఫటికాకృతిం ఆధారం సర్వవిద్యానాం హయగ్రీవముపాస్మహే శృతిస్మృతిపురాణానామాలయం కరుణాలయం నమామి భగవత్పాద శంకరం లోకశంకరం శంకరం శంకరాచార్యం కేశవం బాదరాయణం సూత్రభాష్యకృతౌ వందే భగవంతౌ పునః పునః ఈశ్వరో గురురాత్మేతి మూర్తిభేద విభాగినే వ్యోమవద్వ్యాప్తదేహాయ దక్షిణామూర్తయే నమః. ఓం సహనావవతు సహనౌ భునక్తు సహ వీర్యం కరవావహై తేజస్వినామధీతవస్తు మా విద్విషావహై. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. ధన్యవాదः. సర్వేభ్యः నమస్కారः.
ధన్యవాదములండి సూర్యప్రకాష్ గారు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Now let us request Ananta Padmanabh Rao garu to start the session, please.
వాగర్థావివ సంపృక్తౌ వాగర్థ ప్రతిపత్తయే జగతః పితరౌ వందే పార్వతీ పరమేశ్వరౌ. వాల్మీకి గిరి సంభూత రామసాగరగామిని శ్రీమద్ రామాయణీ గంగా పునాతి భువనత్రయం శ్లోకసార సమాకీర్ణం సర్గకల్లోల సంకులం కాండగ్రాహ మహామీనం వందే రామాయణర్ణవం. సీతాకోమల పల్లవల సద్రామ తరుశ్రియం ప్రాచేతసీం కళాం వందే శ్రీమద్ రామాయణీం గిరం. వాల్మీకి హృదయాంభోజ వణన్మధుర షట్పదీం వాల్మీకి ముఖలక్ష్మీం తాం వందే పికమధుస్వరాం. మనోజవం మారుతతుల్యవేగం జితేంద్రియం బుద్ధిమతం వరిష్టం వాతాత్మజం వానరయూథముఖ్యం శ్రీరామదూతం శిరసా నమామి. రామాయ రామభద్రాయ రామచంద్రాయ వేధసే రఘునాథాయ నాథాయ సీతాయ పతయే నమః. నమోభ్యః. The learned scholars, yesterday we were discussing about the characteristics of Ramo Vigraha and Dharma. Today, all of you will be knowing about all these things, but I will be narrating for your remembrance once again. Today's topic is, yesterday it was Ramayana and today it is Sitayanam, as I told. The woman characters in Valmiki. This is a fascinating book which I have done way back in 81, about 40 years back. Ramayananlo Stri Patralu. This is a true translation of Woman in Valmiki, written by Dr. I. Panduranga Rao, Ilapa Uluri Panduranga Rao. His son is I.V. Subbarao, who was EOTTD also, and later he did several postings also. In this, I was very much impressed about the way he has presented the characters. And later, when I was doing the commentary at Bhadrachalam, I did for 20 years Bhadrachalam commentary, Tirumala Brahmotsavam commentary, Sri Salem Shivaratri commentaries. All these were the God-given gifts to me. I was listening to Jamal Madaka Madhavaram Sharma. The older generation of Chittibabu Garu and Prabhakar Rao Garu must be knowing about him. He was in Guntur and he was a lecturer at the college, and he used to give the live presentations of Bhadrachalam Sitayanam commentary. At one point of time, he narrated, Amma Sitamma Yakaduna Amma Bungamadu Vita, like that. It is known as Janakito Janantikam. It was later published also. Duburi Venkatramana Shastri was one of the professors of Andhra University. When I was listening to those words of Janakito Janantikam, Janantikam is the word used normally in the dramas. When a play is there, two characters are there, but the main character talks to the audiences. That is known as Janantikam. Similarly, this Janakato Janantakam of Duburi Venkatramana Shastri was very popular. Impressed upon that, I have written another book called Antaranga Tarangam about 18 woman characters of Ramayana. So today we will be discussing and enumerating the qualities of these 18 woman characters in Ramayana. Those who wanted to take some notes, I will go slowly for a few minutes so that they can write down some of the points. The main characters here which I have portrayed are the royal queens. All of us know Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and the princesses, Sita, Urmila, Mandavi, and Shrutakirti. There is another lady who is also a royal queen. Her name is not known very familiarly to almost all of us. That is Sunayana Devi. Can anyone guess who is Sunayana Devi? Sunayana Devi.
Sir, she is the wife of Janaka Maharshi, Janaka Raj.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Wonderful, wonderful. Her another name also is Ratnamala. So I have taken these characters of a royal family and the divine woman, Ahalya, Anasuya, Shabari, Swayamprabha. To add color to it, I have added Arundhati also. Then monkey woman, Tara, Roma. Then the demon queens, Mandodari, Sulochana, Sarama, and some of the demons, Trijata, Surpanaka, Simhika, and the plotting woman, Mandara. These are the 18 characters which I thought I would be discussing with you this morning, particularly a Shravana Shukravara, which is very most auspicious day for women. And we are thinking about women in Valmiki also. The main character which created a way or a path to lead the monkey foe is Swayamprabha. She is a very peculiar character and she is less known personality in Ramayana. She is a self-glowing personality. That is why Swayamprabha. The most of the later writers ignored her in other literatures also. She resembles Shabari. Most of us know about the character of Shabari. This Swayamprabha was living in a secluded cave. She was serving that cave. She was in charge. She was the guardian of that cave. The Valmiki described the place of Shabari as a Tadvanam. You just note down. Shabari's place is known as Tadvanam, that Vanam. And Swayamprabha's place is Mahadvanam, purified place. We come across Swayamprabha at the later part of the Kishkinda Kanda. She was living alone in Vindhya hill caves. That garden belongs to her friend Hema. It was built by the demon Mayasura. Hema made Swayamprabha as its guardian. It is Mahadvanam, Vanamuttamam, Kanchanam Vanam, Durgama Vanam. You please note down Mahadvanam, Vanamuttamam, Kanchanam Vanam, Durgama Vanam. This story starts here. The Vanara Veeras, under the leadership of Hanuman and the Prince Angada, were moving around Vindhya hills in search of Sita. That was the task given to this group, Angada's group. But they were not able to find way. They were feeling very thirsty and were hunger-stricken. There was not even a drop of water nearby. At that point of time, they found some rays of light from a cave nearby. Hanuman saw birds flying out from the cave with drenched images and wings. They guessed that water is available in that cave. In spite of severe darkness, all the monkeys entered the cave one by one, marching along a long distance. Suddenly, they acknowledged that a divine face and a divine force pushed them inside. They were very much surprised to witness an old tapaswini there sitting. Courageously, Hanuman approached her. Politely, he questioned her about the whereabouts. There was no reply. She did not tell any words. Then Hanuman narrated their own mission in search of Sita, wife of Lord Rama. She graciously told all of them to fulfill their hunger first. She felt happy at the way all of them have marched forward on the command of their leader, Lord Rama and Sugriva. Charantya mama dharmena nakaryam mihakena chit. You are going, people like me who are leading a pious life need others' help, she uttered. These are the words she said. Chiratya mama dharmena nakaryam mihakena chit. Then Hanuman explained about their own problem. Lord Sugriva has put a condition to complete this task within a given period of time, and it is over. Now, if they go back with empty hands, all of them will be having a severe punishment. He requested her to show the way to go back onto the land, how to go back from the cave. She knows those who enter the cave cannot go alive. This is the condition of that cave. She is the guardian of that cave. She took pity on them. She, with her mantra shakti, made them pushed outside the cave. They were very much surprised how they came out from that cave. Here, we have to go deep into this episode. Sugriva has divided his force into 4 groups. This group, southern group, belongs to Agnya Chakra. If we come across to this is Agnya Chakra. To reach there, one has to concentrate on his Nasikagra. It has the capacity to concentrate entire drishti on Bhrumajja. When once this door is opened, the Abhyasi finds his way. So now they are able to find their way. While narrating this story, Hanuman concentrates on these words. Mahachakaryam asmabhi kartavyam dharmacharini. O tapaswini, we have a divine task before us that is given by Lord Rama to reach Ashokavana, where Sita was exiled, the march of Rama towards Matangavana of Shabari and Mahadvana of Swayamprabha are the steps forward. This is the way how Valmiki has narrated the story. First, Rama has gone to the Matangavana, Tadvanam, and then these people have gone to Mahadvanam. This is the way to reach the goddess Sita. When we go through the story of Swayamprabha, we are reminded of Keno Prasashat. This is another important thing which we have to note down. Why it is narrated in the Keno Prasashat, Yadetat Vidyuto Vyadjutada Iti Vyamahi Mishada. That means, like a glow of ice and lightening light, it will disappear. That is the reason Swayamprabha ordered them to close their eyes to reach their goal, because she did not allow them to go outside with open eyes. So she asked all of the Vanaras to close their eyes, and within seconds of time, they were outside the cave. This is the important character in Ramayana, which has prachodana towards Sita's Anveshana. Then another unsung heroine is Urmila. She is really an unsung heroine. Her marriage took place simultaneously along with the Mandavi and Shrutakirti. All the 3 were married at the same time along with Sita. She was in slumber for 14 years. That is very popular in Telugu as Urmila Devi Nidra. There is a song also, Urmila Devi Nidra, in Janapada Gayas. I have portrayed her in different dimensions. She is in Magata Nidra. She is not in full sleep, deep sleep, a disturbed sleep. She was counting every year. I have made a small sketch. Normally, in the olden days, when the people who are not literates, they used to put a small gurtu on the wall for a milkman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 30 days, the milkman comes, there will be some scratches on the wall. Similarly, this Urmila also, every year, she was counting year after year for 13 years. And the 14th year, she believes that her own husband, Lakshmana, will come and complete that 14th mark. She believes that Lakshmana has not gone for forest. She thinks that Lakshmana is within her hearts. He is in her heart of hearts. The Cupid was disturbing her every day at the initial stages, Manmadha. When she opened her eyes, the third eye, we can say, the Kunkuma, the Cupid ran away. It is like the Trinetra of Lord Shiva. Then, when we go back to the story of the marriage of Lakshmana and Urmila, Janaka uttered the word Sahadharma Charitava. These are the words for Sita also. At the time of Sita Panigrahana, these were the words. He did not repeat in case of Urmila these words. Janaka Maharshi, he is a very great saint also, besides a king. He didn't say she will also follow you. He might have foreseen her neglected future. Her doubt is, why should Lakshmana follow Rama? Urmila occasionally feels in the initial stages, why should Lakshmana follow Rama? Because that was not the order given by Kaikeyi. It was only for Rama. Kaikeyi did not ask him to go. Urmila did not follow the footsteps of Sita to accompany Lakshmana. This is also another thing which we have to remember. Sita followed Rama. Urmila also should have followed Lakshmana, but she don't want to disturb her husband, and she was confined to her bedroom in the royal palace. Then another character which we have just now known is Sunayana Devi. That is Ratnamala. She has another name also, Alais, Ratnamala. One incident I just created to highlight the character of the Sunayana Devi. Sunayana tells Janaka Maharshi, my lord, this evening my right eye trembled. I am suspecting some harm to Sita in the forest because it is already 10 to 12 years the exile has completed. And this lady had eye trembling. We call it as Kannu Adirindi antame. That was the day when Sita was abducted by Ravana. Janaka Maharshi, who was a philosopher, said, you are always thinking of Sita and getting such bad omens. So he did not accept her, whatever she tells. By the time they have completed 13 years in exile, Sunayana says, all for the daughters of Mithila are ill-fated. All the 4 daughters of Mithila, they are ill-fated. Sita in exile, Urmila in deep slumber, Mandavi with her husband Bharata at Nandigrama. No mention about Shrutakirti at all. These 2 characters, Mandavi and Shrutakirti, were not illustrated at the other kandas. She remembered one incident when Sita was a little girl. This is very much known to the Valmiki Ramayana listeners or readers. An astrologer came to Janaka Maharshi's royal palace and he saw Sita, and after observing her form, he predicted that Sita will be away from her husband. This was the words uttered by that gentleman. She is bound to face troubles in life. These are the words of the astrologer. Palmist, we can say. Even the delivery of Lakshmanas, even the delivery of Lavakushas is in the hermitage, not in the royal palace. She doesn't enjoy royal pleasures. When Sunaina thinks of her sons-in-law, in Telugu we say, Anni unna alludu notlo, Sheni. So Sunaina thinks on those lines. All the king of the princes of Mithila, the daughters, sons-in-laws, they are the sons-in-laws. She suggested Janaka to go and bring Urmila to Mithila during the exile period for Lakshmana and Rama. Janaka politely replied, it is not the right way to bring the daughters to their own places. This is the way how the characterization of Sunayana was made. Then we know of Mandodari. She is the queen of Ravana. There are several similarities between Tara and Mandodari. This is the comparison which we made. Both of them are treated as divine Panchakanyas. Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara, Mandodari, Tatha, Panchakanya, Smare, Nityam, Mahabhatakanashanam. Both of them hail from the divine heritage of families. The characters in this, except Draupadi and Kunti, all others are in Ramayana. All the three, Ahalya, Tara, Mandodari. They have faced several difficult situations after their marriage, both Ahalya, Tara, and Mandodari. They had utmost devotion towards their husband and suffered immensely due to their sinful activities. Finally, they have to face the widowhood. In spite of all this Tara and Mandodari have faced widowhood. In spite of all this, they were praised by the enemies of their husband. Even Rama praised the qualities of Mandodari. Compared to Tara, Mandodari is in a higher plane. Tara faced several obstacles. At the end, she was blessed by Lord Rama with a blissful life, whereas Mandodari did not have that fortune. She even does not aspire for such fortune. Unlike Tara, Mandodari kept all her problems inside herself. Her name suggests itself, Manda Mudari. Everything in her own stomach. Tara was a shining example. Mandodari desired to mix with the earth. She inherited the divinity. She is the daughter of Hema, the divine lady of Devaloka. Hema was presented to the architect Mayasura. They got two children, Mayavi and Dunduvi. Dunduvi died in the hands of Vali. Swayamprabha, who appeared in Kishkinda Kanda, is a good friend of Hema. Mandodari was nurtured by her father, Mayasura. When Hema was recalled to Devaloka, Mandodari was her single parent. So this gentleman was looking after the girl. She spent 14 years in her father's place, and that is a golden palace. She was alone. Frustrated, she came out with the father and were wandering in the forest. Both Mayasura and Mandodari, they were wandering in the forest. There they came across the Ravana. After introduction from both of the sides, Maya, father of the Mandodari, proposed her to Ravana. He knows that even if he doesn't propose, this man will abduct Mandodari. So the marriage was performed with the ritual of fires instantly. Maya uttered these words, like in the case of Janaka Maharshi, while giving Sita to Rama, this gentleman also said, Iyam mamatmaja rajan hemaya sarasabhruta. This is the girl, daughter of Hema. I am giving it to you. Iyam mamatmaja rajan hemaya sarasabhruta. Whereas in the case of Sita, Iyam Sita mamasuta sahadharmacharitava. He did not mention as in the case of Sita. It is interesting to know that Ravana has readily agreed to to marry her, even with a simple initiation or introduction. Whereas in the case of Lord Rama, he agreed to marry Sita after the consent of his father, Dasharatha. He waited till the arrival of the king, Dasharatha, from Ayodhya. Mayasura took an instant decision. He presented Divyastras to his newlywed son-in-law. Ravana tried them during the fight with the Lakshmana. The marriage of Mandodari and Ravana was disdained. That is the way how Valmiki has presented it. Mandodari proved herself as a faithful wife. With her splendid beauty, she was a very beautiful girl. And the virtues of Devaloka, she expelled several women folk of Manushya-loka. While crying for the death of Ravana, she mentioned that Ravana was blind with Kama. This is the essence of the entire story. Ravana was blind with the Kama. She even went to the extent of mentioning that Sita is now in no way superior to her in beauty or heredity, because she also belongs to the divine heredity. Hanuman misunderstood her as Sita when he first saw her in the palace of Ravana on the bed. So she also resembles like a very, very beautiful woman. This simple example is enough to say that she has unparalleled beauty. Her mother was Hema. She had golden color and was vibrating with gold. This is the first occasion where Mandodari was introduced to the readers of Ramayana. It is a cinematic, where the director projects the heroine onto the scene. Normally in our new films, we see the heroine in a very glamorous position. Similarly, we come across this Mandodari in the forest before the marriage of Ravana. The second time we deserve Mandodari is, we observe that at the time of the death of Ravana in the battlefield, she ran to the battlefield to have the last rites of her sight of her beloved. She could not believe that a human being killed her husband, because she was very hopeful. Ravana has defeated even the Lord Indra and Yama. She knows that he is a courageous man. Then she realized that Rama is not an ordinary man. She believed that he is incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who came to end the atrocities of Ravana. She came to this conclusion even at the very, very beginning, when Rama destroyed thousands of Rakshasa Aviras at the Khara Samhara time. So she knows that Rama is not an ordinary man. This belief is strengthened when Hanuman entered the Lanka Rajya. She was closely observing all the incidents that happened from the day number 1 of the abduction of Sita. Mandodari is a very intelligent girl. She was advising Ravana regularly and condemned his ruthful behavior. In spite of any fault from her side, she has to face the widowhood. Even then, she did not blame Rama. Instead, she praised him. Mahayogi, Paramatma, Sanatana. These are the words she uttered. You can just note down. Mahayogi, Paramatma, Sanatana are the words she uttered while addressing Rama. She observed Lord Vishnu wearing Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in his hands in Rama. When he saw Rama, she was able to recognize the Vishnu's presence. He is Adimadhyantarahita, Maha Mahimanvita. These are the expectations of Mandodari about Rama. Adimadhyantarahita, Maha Mahimanvita. Only a Devi like Mandodari can express such words against her husband's enemy. She even praised the character of Sita. in her opinion, Sita is much greater than Arundhati, wife of Vasishtha, and Rohini, wife of Chandra. These two characters normally every Puran Pandit mention about the characteristics of Arundhati and Rohini. Mandodari is blessed with the three sons, Angada, who is otherwise known as Meghanada, Atikaya, Akshakumara. But all the three died. According to her, Sita is most pious lady. She believed that Ravana has embraced Mrityu by abducting Sita to Lanka. This is the main stream or main thinking of Mandodari. Ravana was burnt in the Tapogni of Sita. This is the main heart of the Ramayana. Tapogni of Sita has burnt Ravana. She is proud of her husband, with whom she traveled to Kailasagiri and Indravana on a pleasure trip. When they got married, like in the honeymoon, they went to Kailasagiri and then to Indravana, because Ravana at that time very powerful, and all the Navagrahas were at his feet. When Vibhishana was enjoying after Ravana's death, she did not envy. Rama advised Vibhishana to console her and perform the obsequies to his brother Rama. Here we have to compare the difference between Tara and Mandodari. Tara did not lose his son Angada, whereas Mandodari has lost all her three children. Mandodari advised Ravana to return Sita to Rama and make friendship with him. This was the advice, pious advice given by Mandodari. The characters of Valmiki represent different parts of human body. This is another important thing. Those students who want to note down, in the characterization of Ramayana, the entire body is given. One Vali is the tail, Surpanakha is nails, Kumbhakarna ears, Kabandha the body, Mandodari is the stomach. In the stomach, both poison and amrita were in the udara of Mandodari. Mandodari consumed the poison in life and gave nectar to her husband. That is why his stomach was with a nectar. That nectar protected Ravana for a long time in Rama-Ravana Yuddha. Another important character in this is Trijata. She was helpful in the case of Sita when she was in consoling mood. Then another important character we come across in Ramayana at the earlier stages of Rama's life, where Rama's divinity has been projected for the first time. The first time he encountered with Tataka, a demon, and immediately after that, while going to Mithila Nagara, he came across this story of Ahalya. She is the wife of sage Gautama. She is often referred to as the head of Panchakanyas. Ahalya, Tara, these are the words they use. She is the leader of that. She is created by Lord Brahman as the most beautiful woman of the entire universe, but also sometimes as an earthy princess of lunar dynasty, Chandravamsha. She was placed in the care of Gautami. When immediately she was born, she was kept in the guardianship of Gautama Maharshi until she gained puberty and married to the elderly sage. When he came back with Ahalya, Brahma said, "You marry her." The king of gods, Indra, was infatuated with her beauty and comes disguised as Gautama when the sage was gone for morning ablutions. She complied to his request out of curiosity. These are the words used by Valmiki. Gautama cursed both of them, both Indra and Ahalya. Ahalya must atone by undergoing severe penance. These are the words uttered by Gautama. She was not she is covered with dhuli, dhusarita. While remaining invisible to the world, she is purified by Rama. This is the important thing which we have to remember. Then we may have a doubt about how the portrayal of Tara has been done by Valmiki. It is an interesting story. Yesterday also somebody questioned how it became. She is wife of both Sugriva and then Vali, all these things. She is the queen of Kishkinda Kanda and wife of the monkey king Vali. After being widow, she becomes the queen of Sugriva. She is the daughter of monkey physician Sushena. During the war also, Sushena has given guidance to several of the monkeys who fell ill. She married Vali and bears his son Angada. Tara wisely advised Vali not to accept dual war with his brother. She has advised Vali, why do you fight with your own brother? You go and make friendship with Rama and everything will be set right. But Vali does not heed to her advice. She is a very diplomatic lady. She tactfully pacified Lakshmana, who was very ferocious for the delay on the part of Sugriva. Because this story, every one of us know that Sugriva did not remember the words which he has promised to Rama to complete the search of Sita. When they entered into a friendship, they were very much in search of Sita, and Sugriva has given orders to all these people. When Lakshmana entered the scene and said that still the Rama's arrow is still powerful, which has killed Vali, then this gentleman sent Tara to console or to pacify Lakshmana. She was a very diplomatic lady. Then I'm just jumping with the characters because we have the time and the other characters are also there. I'm discussing about Sabari now. This character of Sabari is a very peculiar. She is like a flower in the forest. She is born and brought up in the forest. We have no idea about her parentage. Who was his father, her father, or mother, or how she came. Why she did not marry, no idea and no answer. At what stage she entered Matangashrama, no mention. It is Purvajanma Vasana and Prema that has led her to this ashram. She waited for Rama for years together. She did not end up her life till he arrives. The auspicious day has come. She waited at the entrance gate of the hermitage, Matangashrama. She observed the happiness with the animals. She could listen to the vibrations of Rama Shabda in nature. Everywhere it is Rama, 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 Rama. This Rama Shabda was there in the entire hermitage. She lifted her head. She recognized the arrival of charming personality at a very distance. Slowly it moved towards her. She was completely unaware of herself. Something unusual she observed. That is none other than Lord Rama, along with his brother Lakshmana. She received them with love and affection. Rama cleared the tears of Sabari with his own hands. With his touch, she was completely mesmerized. She presented a fruit to Rama. Rama received it with very great happiness. Here, Molla and other literatures and other poets who described it as the bitten fruits, but it is not in Valmiki. It is a fresh fruit. He mentioned about Kabanda, who suggested to him about her. Shabari politely said, "Oh Rama, I am waiting for you to end my life." She felt her body and the soul glowing. it reminds us of the secret, then one need not be born in a prestigious family to gain moksha. That is the speciality of Shabari. Then we will discuss about the main stories associated with Ramayana. They are Kausalya and other stories are there. Then the main important person is Kaikeyi, who has turned the entire story into her own interests. This story, as we well know, runs in the Balakanda and then it leads to Ayodhya Kanda. While Janaki was described as Devarahasya, Kaikeyi was described by Valmiki as Manavarahasya. Please note down this. Janaki is Devarahasya. Kaikeyi is Manavarahasya. Kaikeyi is the daughter of Ashwapati. She has excellent beauty beside the terrific courage. She has evil desires. Suddenly she changed her attitude towards Rama and behaved in a peculiar way. Yesterday I described about her familiarity with Rama and her love towards Rama also. There is an argument that she should not be held responsible, and it was the desire of gods. Yesterday somebody questioned, and also it was Lord Saraswati who has come onto her tongue. When Dasharatha was distributing Payasa, he went to Kaikeyi after completing the distribution with Kausalya and Sumitra. Intentionally, Dasharatha did not give her due. He wanted the son of Kausalya only to rule the kingdom. He knows that Sumitra will never come in the way. Everybody in the kingdom hated Kaikeyi. In fact, she was not a cruel person. She was an affectionate mother. Rama, at a very tender age, was always in the palace of Kaikeyi. He learned archery from her. It was a joint family. All the three mothers were moving closely, but the fate turned against Rama. Bharata was born next to Rama, and he was eligible to rule the kingdom next to Rama. Mandara was responsible for the turn of tables. Kaikeyi had full affection towards Rama. She did not burn an eye. She did not bunch an inch, but Mandara prevailed upon her and finally succeeded. Here, the poet described the intelligence of Mandara through Kaikeyi in 30 shlokapadas. Unintentionally, the king first wanted to inform the news about the coronation of Rama to Kaikeyi. He should have gone to Kausalya or to Sumitra, but the fortune has taken Dasharatha to the palace of Kaikeyi. We know the later story. When Kaikeyi did not resent, Dasharatha touched her feet and begged. She was harsh in her words. She was very, very, very harsh. She says, Dharmasyevabhikamartham mama chaivabhibodhanat pravrajaya sutam ramam trih kalutvam bravimyakam. Dasharatha, if you really want to honor justice, listen to me, and send Rama to exile. I am telling it with firmness. She said, I am ready to commit suicide also. This is the threat which she gave. She ordered Sumantra to bring Rama and wanted the oral orders of the king. The king obliged. When Rama appeared before her, her face was colorless, whereas the king was in despair. Finally, Rama was prepared to leave for the forest. She is the symbol of person born to a high family and became a slave for the desire. This is the underlying current. She is the slave of her desire. That is the reason the poet describes her as Kirti. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes that he stands with the Kirti of woman, Siri of speech, The poet describes three queens as symbols of three virtues. Finally, it can be concluded that every human being in his life acts like as a Dasharatha through his Dasha Indriyas. 10 Indriyas. These are the things which we have to remember. Whereas Dasharatha is resembling Dasha Indriyas. Then another important character in Ramayana is Kausalya. The difference between Kaikeyi and Kausalya is very much to be observed. Kaikeyi abandoned the royal patronage and argued for the cause which she thought she was perfectly genuine. Kausalya bent her head for the fate silently and prepared for the sufferings she had to face. This we have to remember. She did not give any clarion call. Though she was the elderly queen, she never showed her authority. She never expected special attention from the king. She was always in the side curtains and waited till her part of paisa was distributed. The three queens of Dasharatha were compared by Valmiki in the first instance as Hiri, Shri, Kirti. Here, Hiri is Kausalya, Shri is Sumitra, Kirti is Kaikeyi. Hiri means obedience, Vinayam. Kausalya cannot express her words outwardly. In each and every moment, the human aspect is underlined. The divinity in her character is to be observed. In the entire story, she did not speak more. That is the way how to read the Valmiki. She never uttered a word when Dasharatha contemplated Yajna. During the distribution of paisa also, she does not have a say. When it was decided to send Rama along with Vishwamitra, she never spoke against it because it was a forest and he is going to fight with the demons. She should have objected to it, but she didn't. It is like in a silent movie. She was a silent observer for all the happenings before her eyes. The very first occasion when Kausalya spoke in Ramayana was the crowning ceremony celebrations are on foot. The well-wishers of Kausalya and Rama hurried up to inform the decision. She distributed jewels and precious gifts to all the people who informed her with the great enthusiasm. But she never uttered a word. When Rama personally informed her of the decision of the king, tears rolled down her eyes. She simply said, Vatsa Rama Chiranjeeva. These are the only words she said. Vatsa Rama Chiranjeeva. Live long. She expected that Rama should always be with her. As a devoted lady and with limited desires, she did not speak more. She never uttered a word against her opponents. This is another important character of Kausalya. Rama explained to Lakshmana that he was accepting the burden of kingdom only for the sake of people around him. Rama told Kausalya in unequivocal terms about the differences between Uttama, Madhyama and Adhama. This he has narrated in detail. He added that a person who does not wait to implement the orders of his father is Uttama. I will repeat. A person who does not wait to implement the orders of his father is Uttama. He has to go immediately. The person who follows his father in words is Madhyama. A person, even after the decision of his father, does not act is Adhama. These are the three categories. So he followed the orders of his father in letter and spirit. Rama will never go back on his words. That is another characteristic. At this point of time, Kausalya poses two questions. Let Dasharatha decide, coordinate to Bharata. If he pleases, why should Rama go to forest? This is the question put by Kausalya. Dasharatha can surrender his kingdom to Bharata, but why should Rama suffer? Sita, Sumitra, and Lakshmana were present with Kausalya when Rama entered the scene. This was an irony. Valmiki, in his own way, presented the scene with utmost clarity. If we think of a movie, these characters in this way, on one side Janaki and Kausalya, and on the other side Rama and Lakshmana, Om, Hirim, Shri, the Bijaksharas on one side, and their children on the other side. A beautiful situation to observe. At this point of time, poet described Kausalya in these words: Tatratam pranamameva mataram kshemavasinim Vagyatam devatagare dadarshaya chatim shriya. These are the words uttered by Kausalya. Kausalya prayed Goddess Lakshmi, to bestow her blessings in Sri Rama. Her concentration was fully on meditation. She looked at Sita and Sumitra with half-closed eyes, ardhanimilita netra. At this juncture, Rama appeared before her mother. This is the beautiful description by the poet. Next day, in the early hours of Rama, appeared before the mother to take her blessings before the coronation. The previous day, he went for the coronation ceremony. The next day, he was ready to go to the exiles, but was fit in different direction. Instead of informing Kausalya first, Dasharatha hurried up to Kaikeyi, overnight the turns of table. She made independent decisions and ordered Rama to go to the forest. Though there was no direct order from the king Rama, there was no direct order of the king Dasharatha, Rama obeyed the order. Even for argument's sake, he did not plead for the orders of the king. He accepted the words of his mother. Rama touched the feet of his father with devotion. But the king was not in a consciousness. He touched the feet of Kaikeyi and took leave. He went to his mother Kausalya to inform about the change of sequences. Kausalya kept Rama in a dilemma. The king is not in his consciousness, and Kaikeyi orders Rama to go to Gor's forest. Sri Rama explained her that he will be leaving Ayodhya on the same day. But the situation has changed, and his mother is not accepting. Rama is in a dilemma. In a way, she is correct. Rama has to decide the correct path now. The intelligent Kausalya can easily assess the mind of Rama. She does not want to come on the way of righteousness. As a lady who believes in truth and justice, she can't say no to the decision of Rama, but the separation with his son is unbearable to her. And then Rama tried to control the anger of Lakshmana also. And finally, Kausalya says, "My dear son, I know that you are always on the right path. When there is a dispute between two paths, you will choose the best path. I request you to take the right path in front of me. And this is the final decision. I can't live even for a minute without you." These are the words spoken by Kausalya. She says, "I request you to take the right path in front of me. For you, I am also a respected person. I don't want you to live for the forest. This is my final decision," she says. "In case something untoward happens to me, you will be held responsible." Rama politely addressed her and was in firm decision. He narrated it to his brother and not to the mother. The intention was to suppress the anger of Lakshmana, which will lead his mother to think properly. Finally, Kausalya came to the conclusion that Rama will not budge an inch against the dharma and the truth. This is the underlying current which is in Ramayana, entire Ramayana. So she requested Rama to take her also to the forest. This is another point which she mentioned. She says in the first instance that I am also equally competent to say or issue the orders that you need not go to the forest. Then the second argument she put forth was, I will also follow you, you take me also. He knows that he is committing a mistake by not abiding the words of his mother. With tears in his eyes, Rama requested his mother to help him in fulfilling the desire of his father. She blesses him to continue with the trip and come back safely. After controlling her emotions, she blessed him wholeheartedly in view of my old age, I thought of having proximity with you and finally failed in my attempt, she said. The auspicious moments that helped Lord Indra while fighting with the demon Vitrasura, the same will help you in your journey, said Kausalya. These are the words, and she gave farewell to Rama. Then another important character which we come across will be Sumitra. The character of Sumitra among the three queens of Dasharatha is of the special nature. She is a cultured lady among the royal family. She is a very, very soft spoken and less spoken. There is no evidence show that the king has spoken to her at any time intimately. She also did not talk to him. Even then, she had the privilege of her husband's affection. This is evident from the point of view of distribution of payasa among the three queens. She has been offered twice. The king did not favor Kausalya twice. Instead, obliged twice to Sumitra. The point describes it as the generosity of the king with the word Mahamati. She is described as Mahamati by Dasharatha. Why did it happen? In normal circumstances, she accepted quietly whatever was offered to her. She never felt that it would lead to so many problems of happiness. Kausalya protested against Rama going to the forest. When Lakshmana decided to accompany his brother, Sumitra did not utter a word nor dissuaded him. There is no need for him to go to the forest. Why should Lakshmana go? Lakshmana decided on his own. She never felt bad. Instead, she appreciated the stand taken by Lakshmana with devotion. She even complimented him for taking such a decision. She stood for traditional values. Even though she was in complete despair, she did not say a word against the decision of Lakshmana. And she said in unequivocal terms these words. And she advised her, Lakshmana, in these words, Ramam Dasharadam Vidhi, Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam, Ayodhya Matapim Vidhi, Gachatata Yatha Sukham. Hey Lakshmana, you treat Rama as Dasharatha, Janaki as your own mother, and forest as Ayodhya. These are the words uttered by Sumitra. Another incident where Sumitra consoled Kausalya is most important. Kausalya lamented and criticized each and everyone who is responsible for the entire episode of Rama going to the exile. At this point of time, Sumitra praised the essential qualities of Sri Rama and provided mental peace to Kausalya. Even when Kausalya doubted the integrity of Bharata, Sumitra did not utter a single word. Her silence has several words to say. That is the reason Lord Brahma compared her with Shrikara. The king always had a great respect towards Sumitra. Though he never spoke directly with Sumitra, he has immense love towards her. While mentioning that he is not able to take back his words with Kaikeyi, he said how he can win the confidence of Sumitra. Dasharatha felt that he cannot win the confidence of Sumitra. Even at the time of distributing the payasa, the king has shown favor to her. She gave birth to 2 children. When the other 2 queens' names depict their own origin of birth, Kausalya belongs to Kosala Rajya, Kekai Rajya, Kaikeyi. But in this case of Sumitra, her dynasty or her heritage has not been mentioned. Sumitra is not identified with any place. She does not have her motherland. She belongs to the entire universe. She occupied the middle place in the palace. Though she was nearer to Kausalya, she does not have hatred towards Kaikeyi. The greatness is one of her sons is with Rama and another is with Bharata. They do not have their own identity except to serve their brothers. We have to remember that when Janaki delivered the couples, Shatrughna was present at Valmiki hermitage. That is the story and the golden image of Sumitra. Then our listeners may be interested why I have forgotten about Janaki. Never. I will distribute the entire story, and 10 minutes is given for Janaki. So I have kept it at the end of the story. The paragon par excellence. These are the words used regarding Janaki while mentioning. The vision and the voice of Valmiki are seen at their best while portraying the character of Sita as an ideal woman. That is why whenever all the marriage invitations are printed, we print the entire story of Rama and the Sita only, and everybody will bless them as a Sita Ramas you live. A model for modesty, a symbol of sophisticated simplicity, Sita, an embodiment of grace and grandeur, a strict observer of ethical code of conduct, an exceptional example of supreme love, and a rare combination of courage and compassion. These are the essence of the story of Janaki. She was the first introduced to the epic poet Valmiki by the celestial sage Narada. When Narada was narrating the story of Ramayana, she was described as a lady gifted with all the good qualities of a woman, which placed her foremost among the fair qualities of a woman. She never hated anyone, but only pitied and pardoned those who had an evil eye on her, never harmed even those who tried to harm and harass her. She was always strong in her determination to do the right thing, unmindful of the wrong done to her, and made no compromise with the comfort for the convenience of the cost of righteousness. Righteousness is the path of her. Valmiki, unlike his successors in Ramayana tradition, celebrates Sita's marriage with Rama along with other 3 marriages arranged on the same dais at the same day and at the same time in a very simple way, but most systematically and strictly in accordance with the Vedic verdicts. The whole celebration of marriage is described in a single canto in Balakanda, covering 40 slokas in all. She is Shri Swarupini, incarnation of Sri. Sita is seen speaking for the first time in the epic while greeting Rama on the day of his proposed coronation ceremony, when he summoned by his father and Kaikeyi through Sumantra. This is the story we know. Then, a few hours later, on the same day, she is again seen talking to Rama altogether in a different situation. The coronation suddenly takes the form of exile. Rama was to leave for the forest the same evening. He has already taken his mother's permission and blessings for the same, but he finds it hard to put it to Sita because he has to inform Sita. He approaches her with a depressed mind and obvious discomfiture. Sita, being shrewd and intelligent by nature, reads his mind from his looks and exclaims in an inexplicable anxiety. She says, "What happened to you, my lord?" When Rama, with a lot of hesitation, reveals the shocking news to her and advises her to stay at home and serve his parents for 14 years, while he will stay in the forest to carry out the orders of his father, Sita comes out in her true form, accepting the challenge more readily. When Rama persists in his reluctance to take her with him for several reasons and describes to her in detail the hardships she will face in the forest life, Sita smiles at his underestimation of her courage and conviction and tells him to his face that he is not becoming of a valiant prince of Ayodhya. I thought you are a very valiant leader. And finally she said, "My father Janaka never knew that his son-in-law was a masculine only in form and not in drive and dynamism." There's so many people at the point of time, they sometimes criticize how Sita was able to do like this or tell like this. She says, my father Janaka never knew that his son-in-law was masculine only in form and not in drive and dynamism. This silence Rama ultimately agrees to take her to the forest. Thus, she asserts her right to accompany her husband, though she was not covered under the wishes of Kaikeyi. Then when Kaikeyi insists on Sita wearing the bark garments, Narachiral, along with Rama, Vasishtha intervenes at that point of time and scolds Kaikeyi for exceeding the limits of propriety and tells the public that Sita will rule the land as her husband's rightful representative. This is the argument of a lawyer. Vasishtha said, if Rama is leaving for the forest, his consort will be the ruler of the Ayodhya. While crossing the river, Ganga also, Sita offered her prayers, Sitanjali, she said, to use the words of Valmiki, to the sacred river, asking for the blessings for the successful completion of the stipulated period of forest life. Then coming to the forest life, as anticipated, they pose many challenges to the Trinity, Sita, Rama, and Lakshmana. Sita never loses her balance, even the most adverse circumstances. The first encounter was with Viradha, who tries to grab Sita and run away. When he is attacked by the two princes, he drops Sita down and lifts the two princes on his shoulders and starts running away. At this critical juncture, Sita is not worried about herself. She requests the demon to leave the princess and take her instead. This is the courage of Sita. Then coming to the end of the story, Maithili could not realize her mistake till Ravana, who entered into her hermitage in the guise of a mendicant, a sannyasi, revealed his real form and expressed his evil intentions. She plainly refused to accept him as desired by him when he took her to Lanka. She suddenly found Jatayu, who had volunteered to guard her against the possible danger. She appreciated the great courage and spirit of Jatayu, but felt extremely sorry that he had to lose his life. That is the fate of Jatayu. He wanted to protect Sita, but he could not do. The story of Ramayana, with all these characteristics which we know, is very important, and that is why I have hurried up with all these 18 characters. Though we know that each character can be told in one day, full day, with meticulous care. But since all our learned scholars are listening, I don't want to waste their time. So in my own innocence or ignorance, I have portrayed these characteristics. Now the floor is open for discussion.
Okay, any question? ధన్యవాదములండి. Now we will see the chat box if somebody has asked any question.
Yeah, there are questions, and the first comment was that Shanta character is not as per Valmiki Ramayana. Shanta.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
she is not there, but she was in the guardianship of Janaka.
Okay. She is the eldest sister of Rama, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. The other questions, just a minute. Nandigama of Krishna district and Nandigram, where Mandavi lived, are the same places or different?
No, sir. Nandigama is different, Nandigram is different. This is the Krishna district. Nandigama is in no way connected with Ramayana.
Okay. The other question is, you mentioned characters in Ramayana represent various parts of the body.
Yeah.
Does it imply that Ramayana did not really occur?
No, sir. Because the characters like Shurpanaka with Nasika, Vali is with Vala, Kabandha, the body, and then all these things. It is to create a symbolic way of treating it. That's all.
Some of the interpretations say that Kaikeyi was not a well-nourished lady, as many understand. She, with the sole knowledge of the future eventuality, that is the killing of Ravana, had just one, had taken a firm stand of sending Rama to forest. How is it portrayed by Valmiki?
Yeah, sir. Everybody will accept that at that point of time, at the crux of the problem, she acted like that, as everybody knows that Brahman has sent Saraswati on the tongue of Kaikeyi, and she uttered these words. But at the later parts of the story, when she went to Chitrakuta also, there was no mention of enmity between her and Rama or whatever it is. And Rama never believed that she has done it any enmity. And Bharata also was repenting upon the acts done by her mother. Dharmam ardhancha kamancha prudhivimcha api lakshmana ichchami bhavata madhye hetat pratishrunami te. Even when Lakshmana was hesitant to criticize Kaikeyi, Rama did not agree. So Kaikeyi is not at fault, as you yourself have said, that it is the destiny which has made Kaikeyi part and parcel of the story to turn the tables. Otherwise, Ravana can never be killed. That is, the incarnation is meant only to kill Ravana. As all of you know, Jaya Vijayas had the curse, and they have done it in the case of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipa. And is in the case of Rama, it is Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And in the case of Krishna, it is Shishupala and Dantarabhaktra. And they have to bear all this vengeance because of their curse only.
Yeah. The other question is, please inform whether Sita Mata crossed Lakshmana Rekha before abduction.
That is also another interpolation of Valmiki. She has criticized Lakshmana in any very disturbed mind. She even felt that Lakshmana has an evil mind to take and grab if Rama is dead. All these things were there in Valmiki Ramayana, but the Lakshmana Rekha is also like Ahalya's stone becoming a lady. It is also an interpolation at the later stages. But Lakshmana said, you don't come out. These are the words.
What is the best book to read Uttara Ramayana?
Valmiki Ramayana is better because in Telugu, the other Ramayanas, like unlike in Bharata and Bhagavata, there is no critical edition or the accepted edition. After Nannaya, Tikkana and Errana, nobody has ventured to write Bharata except Kashi Krishnamacharya, and it has also not become popular. And in the case of Bhagavata also, it is Potana's Bhagavata in Telugu. If you are mentioning about Telugu, there is no such book like Vishwanath Satyanarayana, Ramayana Kalparuksham also is very difficult to read. And it is very Draksha Paka, Narikela Paka like that. It is in Narikela Paka. So better to read Valmiki Ramayana itself in Uttarakhanda.
Trijita is not referred by you, sir, in describing how she treated Sita and consoled.
Yeah. She was the person who helped her while in the Ashokavana, and when she was about to take suicide, Trijata has mentioned about the Trijata Swapna. It is described in a very lengthy manner in Valmiki Ramayana in the Sundarakanda itself. She said, I had a dream while Ravana was in such and such a form, and Rama coming on a white elephant, and you will go back to Rama and don't worry. These were the consoling words by Trijata. Not only Trijata, the wife of Bhishana also, she sent several times different consoling words to Sita. Nahime jivitenardhe naiveraardhe cha bhushanai vasanchya rakshasi madhye vina ramam maharatham. Sita, at that point of time, she was very much in a troubled manner, and she says, Nahime jivitenardhe. Why should I live? Naivardhai cha bhushanai. Ee alankaralu ivanni, I don't want all these ornaments. And I simply hesitate that Ravana is in a very, very bad mood. Dhik mamanaryamapatim yaham tena vinakrita muhurtamapi jivami jivitam papajivita. I don't want to live for even a single minute, single second. And these are the words. And finally, when Trijata mentioned about the entire Trijata Swapna, she was able to console herself, and the entire thing has happened like we know in Ramayana.
This next question you have already answered, but I am reading. Lakshmana Rekha not seen in Valmiki Ramayana, where it is written.
So in other Ramayanas, because Ramayana is translated into all the languages. Valmiki Ramayana, all the languages have different versions. Even Ramacharita also has a different angle or treating the characters and the incidents also. When the generations move from one to other, then different places come. The cleaning of feet of Rama by Guha while entering into that Nadi, this is also an interpolation. It is not in Valmiki, but it has been created and it is there popular in the film field also with the different types of people. Guha, he says, "Oh Rama, I have only this one, and if you enter into that, and if it becomes a lady, what happens to me when tomorrow I am living on that only?" Like that. So the portrayal at different times and different languages has taken into different versions. These are only versions.
I think we have come to the end of questions on the chat box.
There are a few more questions. See.
Okay, just a minute.
Sri Rama Pattabhishekam represents.
I couldn't understand. That's I thought Venkataya can read out. But there's another question. Please inform whether Ravana touched Sita Mata while abducting her.
Yeah, he grabbed her on his lap and took her. There is no, because even Sita, while mentioning it to Hanuma, when Hanuma requested her to come on his shoulders and he will take back to Rama, she said, during my unconscious state, Ravana has brought me, and then only he touched me. So she also accepted. So we need not think very bad about that because she was unconscious.
Okay.
The other question by Venkataya Garu, he can read out because there's some, it's not so clear. So now we can go on to the
Okay.
other things. Yeah.
Okay. Ramamohan Garu. 1 minute. Okay.
Sir, I have a couple of questions. One of the trio, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, they being one and the same or unitedly they function. Rakshasas missed this knowledge and they were doing tapas only on either Brahma or Ishvara, and they were getting varas, which Narayana has to nullify, taking avatars or whatever. This is one thing. They miss the knowledge, number one. Number two, why Brahma or Ishvara could restrain themselves in giving varas to these people? They can different, of course. They gave conditional varas which are very difficult to meet the conditions. But then the loophole, to set the loophole, Narayana has to take again Avatara. This is my first question, sir. My second question, Trikalagnyata, past we can say, but future, how can we predict? We can predict the future, but what exactly will happen in the future? The Mandodari, other things, whatever we see, that the future they know. Is the future fixed? Or it is volatile and based on the characters in the sense people, place, and time. Based on people, place, and time, eventually, currently means then and there the future will form and become the present. Is that right? Our future is determined across ages, and it will happen accordingly that way only. That is how these Trikalagnyas are able to see the future. These are my two questions, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes. The first question regarding the Narayana and the other two, let us take for an example, in a family, father, mother, and a son. The mother and son, they take some decisions and they do some irregular things or unbelievable things. Father, as a guardian, he has to control these two, mother and son. Similarly, Brahma and Shiva is particularly known as Bodha Shankara. He gives different types of varas, and the varas become problematic and very difficult for the person, Narayana, to control them. As you yourself have said, he nullified all these things. Particularly in the case of Nrsimhavatara also, he had the vara of not dying at any point of time. Then he has to take the form of Nru Simha. He was half man and half Simha. Similarly, in the case of Ravana also, he never expected that a man will kill him. So he never asked that vara, and he ignored a normal man. So the Brahma and Shiva, they represent the divinity and the importance or competence of a tapas. If somebody is doing penance, they should be given some fulfillment. Like in the case of our vratas, Kamika vratas and all other vratas, if the person is doing some penance and it is to be disturbed first, because if the vara is given, then the penance is over. So they have to control that person who is doing a lot of penance by giving some varas, and all these varas they know that that's why when all the devatas go and approach Brahma, he directed them to go to the Rama Vishnu only, and he was able to have the 10 incarnations, and in some other point of time they say it is 24 incarnations. Avatars are very, very different. So you are correct, sir, number one. Number two, about the future. There are people, sir, even now, I'm also an astrologer. One gentleman, Bhamdipat Radhakrishna, is there. He has written in his own diary on a particular day, 22nd of October. In his diary, he said, I will die. And he died. This is Trikalagnya, as you yourself have said, because next time, when we come across the people who are able to visualize the future, those days they were very penance, with all the greatness of their penance, they were able to foresee the future. According to the Graha combination and constellation, we know that we are in the phase of Sade Sati, Elinati Shani, we will be facing some problems. All these things we know. About the past, everybody can tell. About the present, we know what we are having. But the expectations of the astrologer or palmistry or whatever it is, it believes that according to the Graha Sampatti of that particular individual, you said about the particular incidents of which they know that Mandodari knows that this gentleman will die, but they can't stop the destiny. That is the more important thing which we have to remember. That is why they say, Soham asakshyami punarniyogamati vartitum piturhu vachanadvira kaikeyahum prajodita. Rama and other devas also know that he is going to the exile according to the prachodita, the future is just driving away. It is a driving force. And these words were Kaikeyi's words. Viklabo viryahino yaha na daiva manuvartate. No king who is a capable warrior, he cannot control his future. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Sir, just I want to discuss one thing. Actually, Ramayana is to be considered as a Dhvani Kavya, cannot be taken as literally. Particularly in Ahalya episode, Ahalya means actually barren land. Hal means plow, so unplowed. And Gautama is a go, that is a bull plowing the land. And Indra is actually rain. So the beginning of agriculture, that way, some interpretation is there. Can we take it like that, sir? All the events, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is mentioned very prominently also about that Ahalya. She says, that incident of Ahalya, she is mentioned like ha. Ha is the vowel, and
Negative.
ha is the hull. And here, as you said about, she is also like
Barrel.
and the main reason because she had a Shapavruttanta and she was able to narrate the future of Rama also. She was there as Ahalya. Halya, as you said, the plowing. The plowing has not taken place in her place. And the Murti Matva, Panini has quoted this Archahal, Aygun or look, these are the Panini Sutras. In that, these words come. So Ahalya means Shabda Swarupa, and she was not, it was a barren land, as you yourself have said. And Gautama was there to protect her chastity also. And Indra was there to do that Halya. And then finally, the Banjara Bhumi or the barren land has been made into a fertile land.
There's a question in the chat box. Rama sent his astra that went into and destructed the Udarabhandamu of Ravana, and thus his end came. Please inform the reality of this occurrence.
Yes, it is believed, sir, that happened because Vibhishana has mentioned that even if you destroy the heads, 10 heads in 100 times, it will reoccur. But the main reason is, as I mentioned in the Mandodari case also, she was able to consume the poison and give the nectar to her husband. Her husband had the nectar in his stomach. So that Astra has destroyed this nectar, and finally Ravana has fallen down. It is true, sir.
Okay, I think
Okay.
that's the end of questions.
Dhanyavadamalandi. All participants, thank you for the participation. And on behalf of Veda Samskruti Samiti and all the organizers and the participants of this level 2 certificate course on Sanatana Dharma, all students, we thank you, sir, for sparing your time and giving us enlightening lectures on these 2 days. And we look forward for more such opportunities. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Dhanyawadalu.
Now, Surya Prakash garu,
Sir,
can you?
వినిపిస్తుందా సార్?
వినిపిస్తోందండి, మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
అలాగే సార్. అట్ ది అవుట్ సెట్ సార్ పద్మనాభరావు గారు ధన్యవాదాలండి, వేరమైన ధన్యవాదాలు మీ అద్భుతమైన ప్రసంగానికి. మేమెంతో అంటే ఉత్తేజితులమయ్యాము మీ ఉపన్యాసం విని. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. స్వస్తి ప్రజాభ్యః పరిపాలయంతాం న్యాయేన మార్గేణ మహీమహీషాః గోబ్రాహ్మణేభ్యः శుభమస్తు నిత్యం లోకా సమస్తాః సుఖినో భవంతు కాలే వర్షతు పర్జన్యః పృథివీ సస్యశాలినీ దేశోऽयं క్షోభరహితో బ్రాహ్మణాः సంతు నిర్భయాः అపుత్రాः పుత్రిణः సంతు పౌత్రిణः అదనాः సదనాः సంతు జీవంతు శరదాం శతం సర్వే భవంతు సుఖినః సర్వే సంతు నిరామయాః సర్వే భద్రాణి పశ్యంతు మా కశ్చిత్ దుఃఖభాగ్ భవేత్ అసతో మా సద్గమయ తమసో మా జ్యోతిర్గమయ మృత్యోర్మా అమృతంగమయ. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. పూర్ణమదః పూర్ణమిదం పూర్ణాత్ పూర్ణముదచ్యతే పూర్ణస్య పూర్ణమాదాయ పూర్ణమేవావశిష్యతే. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
ధన్యవాదములండి సూర్య.
సర్వేభ్యః నమస్కారः.
ధన్యవాదములు. Now let us all recite national anthem along with Challa Chittibabu garu.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
Jai Hind.
जय हिंद.
ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు.